Be yourself, be positive. Just another mindset.
Hello, friends, and welcome to a new episode of the Just Another Mindset podcast, the show that inspires you to change and live a more exciting life. My name is Ishmael, and each week I bring to you a relevant conversation, message, or topic that will not only entertain you, but help you to change towards a more meaningful and satisfying life, individually and collectively. Let us get inspired and embrace collective changes for the better. Today, in episode number 6, I talk to Sukkhadas. So today I had the great luck to talk to Sukkhadas, and we had a long and yet super exciting conversation, and we touched ground on different topics. We touched ground on his name, Sukkhadas, and how he got to his name on a spiritual journey at a very young age, I would call it. We talked about how his journey continued into marketing and eventually into a burnout, and also what you can do in order to avoid a burnout and to listen to your body. And Sukkhadas also shares with us today what he has found in order to get over his burnout or to cure his burnout. And this is namely tantric massage teachings. This is psychedelic integrations, where he helps people to integrate different experience and situations. And this is also the Wim Hof method, where Sukkhadas is giving trainings, retreats. And yeah, we talk about all that, and we talk about daily routines, and it's a conversation packed with a lot of super interesting nuggets. And I wish you all the best and have fun with it. We can begin if you feel like.
Yes, please. Thank you for the invitation.
Well, thank you, Sukkhadas, for being here. It's a great pleasure to welcome you on the Just Another Mindset podcast. And the first question is, how do you feel today?
Really good. Yeah. I had a wonderful morning, and tomorrow I get my new car, so that I'm super excited about that.
Okay, a lot of excitement going on. Have you been waiting for this car for quite some time, or?
Exactly. It should come. It should be delivered on 1st of December or something like that.
Okay.
And then it, yeah. So I was waiting.
Mildly delayed.
Yes.
Very good. Super, super nice, Sukkhadas. Well, a little bit about yourself. You're a Wim Hof method trainer. You're a tantric massage teacher, and you help
Yes.
individuals to accompany their integration of psychedelic experiences. But
Yes.
before we look into all the cool stuff that you are doing today, I would like to understand a little bit better, how did we get here? Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, how you grew up, and maybe also how you got the name Sukkhadas?
Yes, sure. So I grew up in a small town near Stuttgart in the south of Germany. My parents were working in the financial branch. My father was a bank director. So it was a typical Swabian childhood, you know. Yeah, my parents have had problems with alcohol. They were addicted. And so I grew up in this kind of strange, everything is good world, but it is not, you know, but nobody speaks about it. And then I broke up with everything what my parents or what they want that I should do. So I get a totally hippie, and I started very young to experience with drugs, and in a really unconscious way, you know. So I did I had also some really bad experience with that, and saw also people dying or have really were suffering a lot from their drug consume. And then there was one special experience that changed everything. And it was I started to read a book from Timothy Leary about set and setting, about psychedelic sessions. And this put my life into a really new direction. It was from a unconsciousness drug consume to really, like, this experience was so deep for me. It is like a compass of my whole life. I experienced transcendental, like the death of myself, that I'm pure consciousness, and I felt connected with the whole universe. So after that really big experience, I said myself, I want to get there without taking anything. And so I started to meditate. And then a few years after, I met my guru, and that was also such a, it was like, when I met him the first time, it was like, okay, that is what I was searching for, but I didn't know that what I'm searching for. So this was also so life-changing experience that I asked him to give me a new name. It's like in the Hindu tradition, like, okay, a new step in life. And also this name should also influence your life in a positive way. So Sukkhadas has a meaning, and it's the meaning is servant of bliss.
What a nice name.
Or bliss, or blissful service. Yeah.
and this name is basically what your guru decides about or chooses for you when you have spent some time together or when you meditated together.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? Like, how does the guru select the name, if you may?
I think there are many ways, but I asked him in Amsterdam at a satsang, and normally some people wait weeks or months or what, I don't know how long, but they wait for their name. And at this evening, a name popped up, yeah, for him. Yeah.
And I was about to ask, where did you encounter your guru? If he was just wandering in the south of Germany and finding you there, but you just mentioned something about Amsterdam. So could you tell us a little bit, because you said you started fairly young. How did that happen?
Yes.
You now said it took a few years, but how was that development into, yeah, this meditation scene, I want to call it?
Yeah. After starting meditation, my first step was to read also book of Osho. So I was really connected to the sannyas scene, and I think I started with 21 or 22 to also guide meditations. I did the meditation guidance training in Cologne at the Utah Center. And then a friend of mine invited me to introduce me to the tantric massage. And we had a common friend, and she was organizing the satsangs of the guru. And the meeting for the first time was in Stuttgart. But he was really traveling around the world. So after Stuttgart, I think I met him the second time in Baden-Baden, then in Hanover, and then I think one day later in Amsterdam. Yeah.
Okay, so you basically traveled Germany with him, and then he went to Amsterdam. He was basically on a trip through Europe or even the world, and this is how you got to know him. Okay.
Yes.
And then you said you also exercised, you meditated with him for some time. Could you elaborate a little bit? How does that look? Is that like a retreat, or do you just do the same meditations? Is that with a lot of people? Is that like in small groups?
Yeah. There are retreats all over the world. I think mostly in Europe, Russia, Asia, and the most of the time I was meeting him in satsang, and then there's a phase of silence in the beginning. The core of the Advaita is also like the question yourself, like who am I? That you go really deep into yourself, to the source of the first thought. And so we had in Tiruvannamalai in Tamil Nadu silence retreats over 3 weeks in silence. So and this I did regularly in the first years. Then there were some other retreats only over weekends or weeks, and or only a day or evening. So I spent 15 years with him and tried to be the most time with him. Yeah.
Okay, but you talk about it in the past tense. So you said you spent 15 years with him, which means today you're not meditating, not practicing with him anymore. Do you want to tell us why? Or
yeah, there was one point I felt not any longer attracted to go to the satsang, to his events. And I mean, we are still in contact rarely, but for me, it feels like I have to go my own way. I started also to give retreats by myself, and yeah.
Okay, perfect.
That was I think it was slowly, step by step,
decoupling, if you want to say, and he pushed you into a direction where you now are, and where you can be yourself and live your own path, your own journey, if you want to say.
Yeah, and maybe also like I mean, my father died when I was 19, and 4 years later I met him, and somehow it was also, in the end we were really good friends also. And it was somehow for me maybe like to be on my own path.
Okay. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And you still keep your name Sukkhadas, because you said it was such a life-changing experience. So this is not something you would say only because you don't practice anymore. This is fully you, and this is the name that you keep.
It was a super important thing of my life, and at some time it was everything, and it's part of my history, you know. So I'm totally fine to have this name. I'm also proud of it. What did you? What was your question about it?
No, I'm just asking that you kept the name, and it's not a procedure that you say if you stop practicing with one guru or with one teacher, that it then would fade. But I mean, it makes perfect sense that you indeed keep this name, because this is the person you are, right? This is the person that you identify, and it's the name that you have. As my name is Ishmael, your name is Sukkhadas, as far as I understand.
Exactly. And the practicing, I think the gift that I get is behind practicing. You know, it's
and it's absolutely not time limited, I understand, right? I mean, you did practice for 15 years, and it doesn't matter if you practice for 3 months or 15 years or 45 years, but this is the gift that you basically receive or part of it is this time together as you spend together, and it doesn't really matter how long it was, and that you still feel it. And then you didn't just continue to meditate and to have meditation practices, but you also started pursuing a career in marketing, if I'm not mistaken. Do you want to tell us a little bit of that? And why did you choose to go into that field, maybe?
Yes. So I became a father when I was 24. So before, I was really traveling around the world. And then I said to myself, okay, now I'm responsible for a little child. So how do I get money, regular money, and so on? So first of all, I started when I was 17 after my school, an education as a media designer. And this I broke up in the last 2 months when my father died. And so I chose, okay, let's start with this. I have already experience in that, and it's a little bit creative and so on. So I started again an education as a media designer. And after that, then I was working also as a photographer, then as a project manager, media designer in marketing. Then I studied also 2 years ago, 2 years to make my, I don't know, I think it's Bachelor of Media in English. And yeah, so it step by step. In the beginning, I had also a creative agency with 2 partners, a marketing communication agency in Berlin, and yeah, it was a nice ride. But what I saw is that over this, I think 12 years or something, from this totally hooked on meditation to slowly driven like more business wise, and in the end I really found myself in a place, it was gray, because my priorities was really like changing over the years. So it was so slowly that I didn't recognize that I changed my priorities. So everything what was good for me, like doing sports, spending time in nature, meditate, whatever, my job was so important for me. When I woke up, the first thing in the morning was like, okay, writing emails to my team. Then I was in the office, then I had meetings and meetings and meetings. In the lunchtime, at the lunchtime, I had a meeting, you know, so you were eating and speaking about business. And then I'm coming home. Maybe I had some time with my son, but then when he was at bed, when he went to bed, then I was opening my laptop again. You know, there was no time. And I also recognized that it was totally stressful, and I tried to be stressless with a drink in front of my fireplace, you know. So it was a really negative spiral. So in the end, I had a burnout with some deep phases of depression, and also my body was ill. So I got a always yeah, something was always on, you know. I was like I don't know how to say, a grippal infect, like a
so that you easily got a flu and got infected
exactly.
easily. So your
flu.
Immune system was not strong enough to fight back any kind of stress or any kind of disease.
Exactly.
If you want to say.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. And I was at my I had a meeting with my doctor, and he said, yeah, okay, so weeks after weeks you get a flu and you're not getting 100% healthy again. So please tell me about your life. Then I started to spoke about my situations at work, and after a few minutes he said like, okay, stop, that's enough. I don't want to hear anymore. I think you should make a 4 weeks break. So I give you this, and please meet a psychotherapist.
Okay.
And then I said, oh, okay. So then I walked to the psychotherapist, and then it was like, okay. So I'm totally, I was functional living for my work and for my son, and but
So you kept
in
working at
myself,
that time.
exactly.
Okay.
But in myself, it was like a plant that was not was
Being
craving for
watered.
water. Yes. And it was a really, really deep point of my life. It was like, then I recognized like, okay, when was the last time I met friends? When was the last time I did some sports? Or when I was the last time a weekend in nature for a hike or something? And it was a long time ago. And even at that time when friends invited me, so I was ill at home and they, yeah, let's come, let's have a hike. I couldn't enjoy it because I was I was so in a way like thumb. I couldn't feel joy anymore. You know,
Okay.
it was really like things that make me all the time happy didn't work. And
Felt
this was
quite empty, it
really,
sounds. Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was, I was shocked about that. My doctor said, yeah, it was good when you go over the day to a clinic. So it was a burnout clinic that, and then you have this group therapy sessions, sports sessions, cooking sessions, all these kind of things. And when other people go to work, you go to a clinic and heal yourself. So, but after 6 weeks, I knew, okay, I have to change a lot in my life, but I was totally energyless. You know, so I was really still somehow depressed a little bit. And then I was in my bed and in the morning, and then I was scrolling at Instagram, and a friend of mine, she's pole dancer, so it's really nice to watch her. And she 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 did a video about a breathing technique. If you need more focus, more energy, just try that. And I said to myself, okay, what else I have to lose? I tried so much in the last 6 weeks, and mentally I changed a lot, but physical, my body was really so I started this breathing technique over 15 minutes, 3 rounds, and I was blown away. It changed everything. There was a light on the end of the tunnel, which I thought, okay, Sukkhadas, maybe you crossed the border and this joy in your life never will come back. You know, it was really because I tried so much over months and nothing happened. And then this simple breathing technique was like this inner feeling that, yeah, that was my older self. I get connected again with myself, with my inner core, with this life joy, and that was amazing. So I started to practice this breathing method. The first thing in my morning was this breathing technique I did. And then I Googled a little bit about this Wim Hof method, and I said, okay. Oh, there's something with ice baths. I don't like because I was really like, in the winter time, I was booking a flight to India to meditate there and to enjoy the sun at the beach and so on. So I was not a big fan of the cold, I must say, but I give it a chance. And I have a bath tube, and it was like cold water around 15 degrees Celsius or something. Then
which is just for an understanding, is that cold water already, or is that freezing cold?
Yes.
Okay, this is already
It's
15 degrees is fairly cold water, right?
Yeah. So you feel the difference. And so I went in for 2 minutes, or just something around 2 minutes, and then after this 2 minutes, I jumped out of the bed tube and was screaming about this joy and energy in myself. I felt, and my son was running in the bathroom and was asking, "Everything okay, Daddy?" And I said, "Yes, it's amazing. I felt such a long time not so be on track
energized
again,
Okay.
Yeah,
so the ice ignited
energized,
your fire.
happy. Yes, it was amazing. And then I was like writing the Wim Hof office. I want to be an instructor. It helps me a lot, and it was. But I must say, I also in the beginning thought maybe it has nothing to do with the techniques, the ice baths. So I tried also some days without, and it was the days were shitty at all.
Okay.
It was like really like
so you
I
could
knew,
see the
okay, that's it.
direct correlation. Okay.
Exactly. And so I asked them if they have when starts the new instructor course, and they say, yeah, sorry to hear, but first of all, nice to hear that you that the method helps you, but sorry to say that there's no free place in Europe for the next course. I said, okay. But one day after, I said to myself, yeah, I don't have to be in Europe to start the course. So where's the next course, free place for the instructor training around the world? And they said, okay, wow. Yeah, in 2 months, we start a course in LA. And I said, yeah, count on me. So then I met Wim the first time in LA, and luckily 6 months later, somebody from the Europe course canceled, so I can jump in the Europe course training in the last module. So it was a quite ride, and then it changed everything.
Okay. When was that happening? I mean, when did you do your first breathing, and when did you do your first ice bath in your bathtub? I'm sure that this was such a memorable experience. You remember the year or even the date?
Yeah, it was around 2017, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so roughly 5 years ago. And then this has really helped you to get out of the depression, to get out of the after burnout. I don't know, would you say that you cured your burnout? Is it something that you cure? Is it something that you get over with? Is it something that you heal? I don't know, what is the linguistic that you use for a burnout for yourself?
Yeah, in a way, it's in Germany, it's not a burnout, it's not a disease. It's like the correct words
Terminology.
are for yeah, it's like Erschöpfungszustand. I don't know how it is in English. It's like a situation of
being tired relentlessly.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, with some phases, in my case, of depression.
Okay.
So and for me, there was not like, okay, now I'm 100% healthy again or whatever. So it was a scale, and I also now I create the life that I want. So be my own boss, giving workshops on super nice places in nature where I want to go, earning money with that. But I also had some challenging phases when it gets too stressy, you know, with the corona. So the courses you are not allowed to do courses. You have to communicate with a lot of people individually and so on. So at this moment, I recognize, oh, okay, I'm going into the other direction. But it's like percent wise, you know, but my inner sense of, oh, this is the wrong direction is really fine, you know, very, very sensitive. So I can say, stop. Okay, I need a break. 2 weeks only for myself, stop working, reading good books, spending time with friends in nature or whatever. So so I learned a lot to, yeah, also as a Wim Hof instructor, I take myself with other instructors once a year that we can plunge together in the ice bath, and not teaching only the method, so practicing with us in a crazy way the method, and so on. So you have I built up islands of a good balance for myself.
Okay.
Yes.
And it sounds like you have a very fine-tuned feeling for your own body and for your own mind. So if something goes into a direction that it's too stressful, that now you probably also acknowledge it. Because if I listened to you earlier, it sounded like it was a gradual, more and more grayness, I want to call it. And then probably you didn't listen to it, whilst today you listen to it and you intervene immediately and you say, okay, I need a week here, or I need a break for 2 weeks or something. Is that accurate if I summarize like that? Okay.
Yes, yes, exactly. And also, I must say, the people around me, you know, when you are business driven and you are only meeting business people and they're living the same lifestyle, how should you reflect on yourself when everybody is living the same life, you know? And now I'm really out of this business driven wheel. Yeah, so I can really, every morning I can choose what I want to plan, what I want to do right now, or let's have a podcast with you and have a good time.
That's super cool. I'm super glad to hear that. And I don't know, is there spontaneously some kind of signs or signals that you, I don't know if you were aware, but that you would suggest people to listen to? Because you said it took 12 years for you, and then you came to a point that you couldn't work for months, basically, right? And you were not sure if you're going to find a solution to be happy again. So if somebody is listening to that and this person is on this treadmill still, and this person is working a lot, is there signs that you say take them serious and act on them? I'm sure there is multiple, but I don't know, maybe also from personal experience.
First of all, I would say there are really many levels, and I think everybody is a little bit different, but in a way the health situation about your body, is there always like coming things again and again is a sign. Mentally, how many ups and downs you have, you know. And also for me, I did a list what things are good for myself, and how often they happened in my daily life, you know. And if there is not so much happening from the list of good things for you, it's the wrong direction. And in my case, if I have problems like to forget meetings, it's for me the first sign, oh, too much stress, you know.
Okay.
This is really for me the first point of slow down, Sukkhadas. Enjoy your life, you know. Because when I forget something, it's always a sign like, oh, there's too much other things at the same time in my head or something like that.
And you said back in the day, at least, that you would have a drink at the fire pit after work to get over with your stress. And I believe this is something you don't do anymore if you feel like there's too much stress. Would you tell us a little bit about your relationship with alcohol a little?
Yeah. When I was at the clinic, I was also recognizing many people of the my many patients there are also drinking a lot in the evening to calm down, and the group therapy sessions were sometimes really rough. And I asked the therapist, like, maybe we should talk about addiction and also alcohol drinking. I wonder myself also, and then they say, like, no, first we have other things. Keep this regular ritual in the evening for yourself, but we don't want to open too much. And I said, okay. And then I thought, like, maybe this is the best place to open it, you know. But then I tried really for many years. Also before, I always saw like it's I couldn't enjoy it anymore like in my youth, you know, when you have the first parties or whatever. And also if I remember in the beginning, I don't like the taste and something. So but then you get used to it. So I was so used to it. If I had a day when I said to myself, today I don't want to drink, I met friends and they drink, and maybe the first 2 drinks, it was like without a non-alcoholic drink, but the 3rd, the 4th drink, it was alcohol, you know. I couldn't resist. And when I started the Wim Hof method, it's really interesting. I had the mental power to say no. And since then, and I didn't recognize it in the beginning, but then I said, like, when I was the last time drinking, and it was weeks, it was really decisions. No, I don't drink, but and then it was quite challenging because when I was drinking alcohol, I forget myself a little bit, you know. I have a free time. Problems that I had were not so present in my life. So it was really a time of months. Every evening when I used to have a drink, and it was only a beer or 2 or something, you know, it was really like, okay, take a look on yourself. And this was, now I'm totally happy about it, because if I tried after a few times to drink something on a birthday party, on a wedding, but it was really like, I don't like myself anymore when I'm drunk, or when I get into the direction of being drunk. Now I'm enjoying the sobriety of my pure consciousness. I cannot say it in other words. It's really, I'm happy like I am. I don't want to change this state. And that's super interesting because so many people want to have a better life, enjoy life, and drink alcohol. And for me, it's like, no, now it is the best like it is. I don't need anything to add on this pure, sometimes boring, sometimes challenging life experience. It's the best like it is, and it takes really a lot of time to accept this. It's like somehow if you start always to change the moment, you cannot accept the moment because you always want to change something. And now I feel like I embraced myself as I am, and with the good things, the bad things, but I'm more in contact, more in self-acceptance. Yeah.
Okay, that's super interesting. So you've not been drinking alcohol for how long now in total then?
I think 3 years, something. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And was there, I mean, just a question that pops up my mind during the COVID, during the pandemic, was there ever something that you said, I don't know, you said you had some difficulties, you had some problems, I don't know, like if you had all the people to meet, most of us did not have all the people to meet. Were there ever thoughts about it, or is that completely out of your mind, completely out of your brain, and you would rather think about going for a nice walk or?
To drink alcohol was never on my mind.
Okay.
No, I changed really when and I think also Germany is really in the culture, it's so much things connected to alcohol. First of all, if you have if there's a party, if you meet some friends, if you want to enjoy life, if something bad happens, you know, you drink always alcohol. It's like a social thing, and you see that it's connected with your brain. If something happened, bad or wrong, you have to drink alcohol. It's really a pattern. And so I instead of drinking a beer, I start to read a book, or to go to receive a massage, to go for a walk with a friend, to drink coffee in the morning with a friend. So these are regular things that makes me happy, and that, yeah, I'm totally satisfied if I have a really nice walk and talk with a friend. Yeah, I put another thing in another situation. I replace drinking alcohol with healthy stuff. Yeah.
That's super interesting. So when did you take the decision to do 100% what you like, if you want to may say, and how did you take this decision? Was it like with your burnout diagnosis and not finding a solution and this with Wim Hof, or when did you decide to really focus on things that you want to do? And did you have any doubts or fears about this decision, or like, I don't know what kind of measures there were?
So first of all, in this 6 weeks in the clinic, I had the first time in my life, really such a long time, to think only about myself, not about campaigns, photo shootings, my son, whatever. It was just time for myself. And also in these 6 weeks, my mother died. So it was really like somehow release my old history, and then ask myself who I want to become. And if I have a white paper, how should look my life in few years, and how I want to get there. So I decided at this point, don't go back to the marketing jobs, and I tried to start tantric massage trainings, guiding meditations, and so on. So it was a quite challenging trip, also financial wise. So I saw, okay, from the government, you get like a startup help. I tried this, but it was only 6 months. It was a little bit too less. Then I go back in a really alternative CBD company, and being the head of marketing, and I think it was a half part-time job, or
Okay.
4 days a week or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then build up with a secure, with a little bit of security on the other side, and then building up. So this was always like finding the balance to have security, because I have a son. I mean, it's totally different when you have not responsibility for a child. I mean, nowadays you can easily have a good life without not so much money to build your business. But this was for me like, okay, I want to have a standard. And yeah, and it was really continually growing, because I have this clear direction. Yeah.
That's very interesting. So you did have the mindset to understand this is basically a clear start again, right? So you realized that you walked or even ran into a direction that was the direction that didn't help you, that got you something that you didn't feel good physically and mentally. But then you realized fairly quick that this is a new start. It's not a big failure and you only saw the negative, but you basically understood and appreciated that you can start new and then rebuild your life in a way. This is at least how it sounds, right? And then you had a clear structure, a clear plan.
Exactly. And what I realized was in the beginning, I mean, I have over 20 years of experience in meditation, different kind of forms, active, passive, tantric massage, the Wim Hof method, psychedelics, and so on. So in my prior problem was, how do I get this in one cup of tea, you know, like that it's clear, okay. But I started to host workshops and so on, and people was about exactly, I was a business marketing brand manager. I have experience of leading teams and so on, and people come to me they with like, okay, I think I'm close to a burnout, what do you think? And I'm coaching this kind of, so this my whole life, all my failures are now a really gift for me and my job, because I experienced a lot of downs, also with my parents and so on, and I can help people with my experience. Yeah, and this is I don't feel now that I'm working. It's more sharing experience, or and I felt like this is the right spot on earth where I want to be. Yeah. Very satisfying.
That's super nice to hear. So I understand that your partially very painful experience are now really your asset. And this is the experience you can share with people who are on a similar journey or in a very different journey, but who are experiencing different signs. So maybe we can look into that. I mean, you've mentioned quite a few activities that you do. Maybe we go for the first one, the tantric massage. How and why did you learn or get into it? And what is a tantric massage teacher? What can we imagine you are doing there?
Okay, so first of all, I was invited when I started to guide meditations in a club, in a discotheque. It was
Okay.
in Stuttgart. So there was one participant. He was around 76. Kalas was his name, and he was experienced in over 26 years of different kind of massages, tantric, shiatsu, lumi, whatever. And he built up his own massage technique and asked me if I want to learn it for free, you know?
Hmm.
So I said, yes, wow, amazing. And he built it up in a way also like a tantric massage ritual, and he shows me how to integrate massage in my sexuality.
Okay.
So massage was always, before I met him, a way of being in contact with my girlfriend or lover, but this was in a way a totally new experience. It was blowing away my mind. To build up so consciously a trustful, intimate relationship. And at the tantric massage ritual, it's clear that somebody is giving and somebody is receiving.
Okay.
So when we think about our natural interactions with our partners, we try to receive and give mostly at the same time, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So you cannot 100% fully enjoy giving or receiving. And and one of the most questions people ask me, when you give always massages, when do you receive? And I said, yeah, but you have to look on the other hand. It's also super intimate to give. So it's a ritual of meditation, and you can use it also for yourself when you give, that somebody is going through, that you don't need your energy and you feel afterwards tired. It's more like and many people say that, like, after a tantric massage ritual, you feel like 1-2 weeks super energized. And also, like, the tantric massage is that you really have a consciousness touch without having an aim. So many people think like tantric massage is sex or you get an orgasm. No, it's like really individual. Like, what is the state of the receiver? Yeah. Okay. Sometimes I have there are people, they don't have sex in their life. They're in the mid-30s or whatever, and they want to have this kind of experience of intimacy and sexuality, but we don't know, okay, maybe we stop. And it's really good to also respect boundaries. There are other tantric schools, they say, yeah, you have to be open and let it go, and but I don't like this. And for me, it's also really dangerous to create new traumas if you don't respect boundaries. So you build up trust from session to session, and you try to touch 100% of the body in a consciousness way. And there are some studies about, like, when you are in sexual interaction with your partner, I think it's around, if you are lucky, you have 24%. Normally it's around 10 or 16%, you know. So it's like the erogenous zones. And but the skin is the biggest organ of our body. And if you stimulate the whole body, your inner hormones are on a really different level. And you can choose also to go in a really meditative state, and also you're playing in a way, or you're harmonizing the heart and the sexual energy in your body, and this can be like starting waves of orgasm without touching you in an erogenous zone, you know. But it doesn't have to be. Also, like, it can include an anal massage and an intimate massage. The penis, it's called lingam, or the yoni. It's really like how experienced you are as a tantric massage giver, that you get the feeling, okay, where do I start, where I end? Or the receiver say, I don't feel like this is my border, and you are always in contact. It's not something like you are say yes to a tantric massage and then you have to go through a whole process and you cannot change the way. No, it's really open and individual. Yeah.
So I understand it's without big expectations or any expectations, really, right? It's not, okay, I'm going to do it for 5 minutes or 2 hours or 48 hours. It's just, there is clear roles. There is a giver and a receiver, if you want to say, and then you basically experiment and see where it takes you and the giver and the taker, where it takes the couple.
Yeah. And as for a tantric massage training, it's like my inner aim is to show people that there are different ways to communicate, or if you are receiving a tantric massage, is a lot about self-love. Accept yourself as I am, or as you are. So and this is a big journey for the most people.
Yeah, well, if you cannot love yourself, then it's hard to love somebody else. I mean,
yes,
at least
exactly.
that's my understanding of things. And, okay, so that sounds very interesting. If you say to show people, who is your, I don't know if there is such thing, but normal client for tantric massage classes? Is it couples? Is it individuals?
Totally different.
Okay.
Totally different. It's like from a medical doctor couple to a student, single student. It's really getting more and more common about more consciousness sexuality. It's really nice to see the development. Yeah.
Thanks to good work of yours and other people. So I think that's one of your achievements. Super cool. Very nice.
Thank you.
That's very interesting to hear.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you also help people with psychedelic integrations. You said that you started in an early age experimenting with different drugs, and that also psychedelics played a role throughout your life. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your personal experience, and how do you help people integrate experience, and what is an integrated experience of psychedelics?
Yes. Maybe I start first about my work, and then I go deeper to my experience. So first of all, the integration work is like psychedelic. It doesn't mean it has to be connected with a substance like psilocybin, LSD, or something. You can have a psychedelic experience in the ice bath through a breathing session. It's like this psychedelic experience is something new in your life. It gives you a new perspective which you never had before. So this is psychedelic. And most people know it only from the substances. But then if you go to a retreat, it can be an ayahuasca retreat in the jungle, it can be a Wim Hof method retreat in the mountains, and you have this life-changing experience, and you go back to your normal life. You have you can choose. You put this experience in a shelf, like left on the near the bottom, put it there, and live your life ahead like it was before. So there was no integration about this life-changing experience. And for our Western world, that we consuming this kind of experience that we can talk about with friends. Oh, I had this amazing experience at this retreat or with this shaman, but then I'm back in my normal life, nothing happened, and I have the same problems and so on, you know. Or sometimes they're so facing that you can't ignore it. But to help that this experience can integrate, can change your life, it starts before you want to make this experience. So first ask yourself, why do you want to do this experience? Also, if substances are involved, it's always a risk. And so it's and I started to work in this field because I would love to had one when I was 17, like an integration coach. You know, it was so it was like such a life-changing experience, and this it was really fighting about my own demons and structure, and my whole friends at this time were like using drugs unconsciously, you know. And then I started like, no, we have to build up a ceremony and let's and then at this time I started to have sessions one-to-one with people, and also after then with my meditation experience, it's more like I have the empathy to see where people are, more or less. I mean, it's always like my my point of view, but I think it's an important work nowadays, the integration about this really powerful experience. And I integrated also in my Wim Hof retreats, tantric massage trainings, to integrate, to be responsible that you do something which you learned, or which new experience, like that you get new values for yourself in your life, in your daily life, or whatever. Yeah.
Absolutely not. And I mean, it can be very life-changing events indeed, right? So I think what you do, again, like the integration, is super important, no? So I mean, this is maybe also a disclaimer: if you want to try any psychedelic experience with substances or without, please don't do so without people who have done, or without people who can help you integrating, right? I think, I mean, you have talked about that earlier during our discussion. You had like the wrong entry to substances. You had like also in India, I have friends myself, or I also lost friends myself at an early age, right? Because it can happen. I mean, this is really dangerous stuff if you don't know how to use it. And especially nowadays, I think psychedelics, at least in my bubble, I want to call it, the whole topic of psychedelics in the last 3 to 5 years picked up again and again. No, I think like due to the fact that I also partially grew up in India, it was always somewhere. So there was always people who are interested in it, but now it's almost a common knowledge topic. It's a common knowledge theme, and people who have no experience, who have no idea, go to retreats, and maybe that's good. I mean, I think it's good that we shape a new understanding of different alternative ways. Yes, but I think it's also super important that people seek support. I wouldn't even call it help, but seek support with integrating an experience like you do.
Yeah, and I like the development of like MAPS started to be in contact with the government, to set new studies where psychedelic substances can help in a therapeutic way. And also in Germany, we start a big study about depression and so on. So I think it's a really nice development or healthy development.
Going the
So
right
the government
direction.
Can't close their eyes anymore.
Yeah, that is what happens sadly in Western Europe, and especially in Germany, due to the fact that nobody wants to see drugs. They don't exist. But if you go on the streets, you will find out from very poor to very rich, they do exist, and it doesn't matter what it is. No? So I also support the development where it goes. I don't know since when you have done this integration, but do you also see a change of people coming to you either in volume, so the actual figures, how many people are coming, or also that you see different people coming? I don't know if, let's go for stereotypes, back then it was only 25-year-olds or only 18-year-olds, and now you have all the also people. Do you see some development and change there as well?
Yes. In the beginning, also in my age, it was only the young people, you know, I want to break out and I want to change something. I don't want to live the life of my parents. I want to do something different. And now it is really that people totally living like doctors, financial financial managers,
industry.
And and really people, you would say, they have an academic normal life, you know, but they feel maybe something is wrong, or the values, and it's really like helping them to get more connected to themselves. And it's also like the burnout. It brings, if you only your values are connected to business, or how much you earn, or how good your girlfriend is looking like, it puts yourself away from yourself. And people have that sad feeling about themselves and see this could help.
Yeah, and that's very refreshing to hear that you also have integrations throughout all the different levels of society, if you want to say. So it's not only the young kids who you want to break free, but it's also, I don't know, like managers from financial institutions, or consultants, or marketeers, or also like people from any level, really. So I think that's good to know.
Even people, they're close to die. It starts, there was a big study in New York with people, they had cancer and had a psilocybin session treatment, and even at this point of life, it could help.
Okay.
This is
very good. Super interesting. So you said a psychedelic experience does not have to be connected or correlated with substances, but that you also can trigger such, for example, via breathing and an ice bath. So maybe you want to tell us, because also this is the biggest method that broke you free from your burnout yourself. Do you want to tell us a little bit, for those who don't know what the breathing work is, or what an ice bath method is, and what do you do in a retreat?
Yeah. So it is when you see the history of our Western civilization, there was one point, somehow life is always like to save energy. And at one point, we start to bring the fire in the cave. Before, we were able to warm up ourselves. And then we started the fire in our cave. Now it is the central heater in our apartment, Gore-Tex clothes filled with downs and so on. So we banned the cold. And if you think what we know about the heat, like when we go to a sauna, we detox. When we go to the sun, when we go to the beach for a sunbath, we know that we create more vitamin D3 and so on. So there are a lot of good things about the heat, and the cold is totally determined. Yeah, exit. And so the first one problem of deaths when people die because of heart rate problems.
Okay.
And
sounds likely.
And a simple cold ice bath can change that. You get a stronger
like your whole
in
immune
English.
system, your whole heart immune system is more fluid and works better, if you want to say.
Exactly. You strengthen that whole system. And even on top, there's the whole system. You boost your immune system, your mental health. It is like really, I think, up to 500% of noradrenaline was pushing the immune system. If you have depression, it pushes like 200 up to 250% of dopamine, which makes you feel good. And also the inner work, like it's like, wow, I can handle this situation to survive into the cold. I was climbing up the Mount Śnieżka, and the feeling temperature was minus 37 degrees. And it was a 2 hours hike. And if you survive some situations of this, it always remembers you when you have a quite challenging situation in life. I survived this situation, so I can handle this fight with my partner or whatever, you know. And so and what happens into your brain is also like, if you go also through a breathwork session, there is this prefrontal cortex where your person is happening, you know, your history, your future, where you want to become, what are your bad and good experiences in life. And through a breathwork sessions, you go into the reptile brain, a really old part of the brain, and there is it is without patterns. It's only the here and now. And from this, you can decide which pattern you want to grab on for the new day, you know. And this helps me a lot to change, to decide very clearly, okay, now I want to, nowadays I want, or today I want to be this and that person. And also the Wim Hof method has 3 pillars. One is the cold exposure. The second one is the breath work. And the third is the mindset. And these 3 pillars are really like connected to each other. So you first of all, you change your health, then you get happier, and your total mindset, your point or your view of life is changing. And I call also the fourth pillar the community. When you go with friends or to a retreat and you experience such a essential cold exposure, breath work, and it's so life-changing experience that you can have really like experience this no I, this transcendence, this feeling, the connection between you and the whole universe. There is no I and you. We have the same source of being. And this is like, if you see the people after leaving a retreat, it's like their eyes are glowing for life, you know, it's like, yes, I'm coming. and before people come with, yeah, in a really challenging situation right now in their life. And it's really, it's first of all, cold exposure, breath work, mindset training. You need nothing. You can go out in nature. You can use, yeah, you can sit in your room and to have a breathwork session. You don't need anything if you learned it right. You know, it's really accessible for all human beings. Yeah.
You know, said you do it right. So I believe we all agree with the ice bath that you should also do it step by step, and you should not just go to the next frozen lake and jump in and see what happens. I think this is quite obvious. So also for our audience, please don't. I think we can look into that later, but I think you even have tutorials on how to do. But especially with the breathing, let's say, okay, you want to start a breathing and you want to see if it's for you. So I'm sure there's all the sources online where you can find ways, if this is the way that you want to test first before you go for a tree retreat. But with breathing, is there also something you could do wrong, or is it that you just experiment around for, let's say, a week or two? How fast? I mean, people are always, they want to see results as fast as possible. I don't expect it to be shown in 3 days or something, but A, is there something that you can do wrong? And B, how much time should you give yourself every day, but also in terms of days or weeks or month before, yeah, you see changes or you feel changes? Or
okay. First of all, if you are pregnant and with an epileptic disease, you should not practice the breathing technique. Then if you have problems with your heart rate when it's over 160, or just speak about with your doctor. You know, it's mostly many people with autoimmune disease practicing the Wim Hof method, but first of all, check in with your doctor, because they know the special situations. We are not medical persons. And then what you can do wrong is the breathing techniques are very simple, and you get access through the Wim Hof method app. You can book an online session with me, whatever, YouTube. But YouTube, be carefully, there are not only good tutorials. So
like any tutorials online.
Yes. So it's 50-50, I would say. So but with the Wim Hof app, you can track also your times, and you see that you make really fast progress, really fast. You can see it. And if you like the experience and the tutorials over the Wim Hof app, yeah, let's dive deep into a retreat with a Wim Hof method instructor, because then you see it's totally different when you learn it online and then you practice it with people together, because while the practicing, there comes the questions, which are really important to develop. Yeah. So it's like what you need time-wise, you can make 3 rounds if you have no if you have no time in the morning, 2 minutes cold shower, but scale it slowly. You can start with 50 minutes cold shower, 15 seconds, sorry. Yeah, seconds, definitely. And go 30 seconds, 1 minute, and so on. And 2 minutes are really good. Then with the breathing session, you can have 3 rounds, 50 minutes. I can also, if people are interested, I can recommend some links. They reach me over my website or Instagram.
The last question is like, how do you see results, or can you even expect results? So is it something that you would want to do for 2 weeks, for a month? Is it also possible that, I don't know, with cold showers, I'm sure for some people, they just realize it's not for them, right? I mean, I'm sure there is people, would you tell them you have to push through, or is that also fine? And then focus on the breathing, focus on what's also good for you. So what's the boundary that you should accept for yourself? And yeah, is it just experimenting?
Yeah. So first off, do not force.
Mm-hmm.
The Wim Hof method is for me always like that you get more a feeling about yourself, about your body. How do you feel? I say always, you are every day another person. It depends on how do you slept, what did you eat, did you ever argue with your friend in the morning or whatever. So this makes every day a different day, and you have to be open for that and don't force. Yesterday I had a 4 minutes ice bath. Today I need a 5 minutes, 6, 10, whatever. Don't do that stupid social media. Look at me, 10 minutes, whatever. Get the feeling of yourself. And this comes with the experience over time. But first of all, you have inner, you recognize also after every session, ice bath or breathwork session, the results immediately. And this is the inner results. How do you feel? And it's get more and more and better. Then also there are breathwork sessions where you can look how much push-ups you can do, because you get stronger, because of pushing the mitochondria to be more effective, or building new things. So on the other side, you see also in the cold that it's easier to get more used to stay longer in the cold. But you can come easy to a point where a 10 minutes ice bath is super easy, but you have to be aware that the point is not to go long as possible into the ice bath. The point is to get warm afterwards. And this is the most I would say for beginners challenging, when they see now, wow, 4 minutes, 3 minutes, I can stay. I say, yes, your body adapted very fast, but what we want to learn is the thermogenesis in the body to get warm by ourselves. Yeah, so keep this in mind. And also, one important thing is, don't go straight after an ice bath into a sauna or whatever. It's really dangerous, because if the cold blood from the arms or legs go into the organs or heart, it's not nice at all. And yeah, go in contact with Wim Hof instructor per mail or whatever, and ask them to progress the training. Yeah,
absolutely.
2 minutes, you are safe, but if you want to go further, go to people, they know what they do and they are trained in this.
No, absolutely. I mean, this is something we definitely have to recommend, no? And we can link some good tutorials. We can connect with you. And I think, again, it's super important and super good that you help and support people with that, right? So it's not just go out in the field and find a lake that's cold or that's frozen and try out by yourself. Like go with somebody else, I believe, and really go also with someone who has done it before. So
you asked me about what happened into my retreats. I think I don't ask, I say something about that. So there are different formats. A day workshop who's for beginners, a weekend who's from beginners to advanced, and retreats who's really a whole week, 5 to 6 to 7 days. It depends on the area or location. And the whole retreats are always like for every scale of trained person or beginner. We start always slowly, and you experience different kind of ice bath or cold exposure techniques. So you can go into the water, you can go for a hike only in shorts with -20 degrees or whatever, and then we have different breathwork sessions they build up on. It's like a little journey, and also how you can warm up your body, the breast, the chest, and the diaphragma. So we do also like on the body level. Then a lot of meditation, integration work, and also have fun with each other.
Build the fourth pillar, basically, the community around the other
exactly
three. I see a pattern. It sounds very interesting. And I'm sure we're going to go into the cold one day together. It sounds very exciting.
Nice.
Super cool.
Yeah.
One question that I have, we talked a lot about yourself and breath works and also rituals that you follow. I would be interested, how does your morning or how does your day look like? Do you have a routine? You are also like in preparation for this conversation telling me that you follow a certain routine in the morning. Can you enlighten us a little bit? What do you do to start the day happy?
Yes. So I start always in the morning, the first minutes, like 20, 30, maybe an hour, also 60 minutes, like a guided meditation. It's different. It's like a topic wise, you know, what is present in my life. And then I have a breathwork session, Wim Hof method breathwork session, and then I go out of bed and have my 5 Tibetans. It's like a regular exercise which I do daily, and then it depends really if I'm on a retreat or at my home or on a vacation. It's really if I have time, I love to read a little bit for inspiration for the day, and then making a plan of the day, and then I start mostly to work immediately. But I also like when I after the 5 Tibetans, I started with a cacao or coffee. Yes.
Okay. So you have a structure, I hear, but you're flexible. But basically you wake up, you meditate, then you have breath works, then you have 5 Tibetans, I would call it meditation practice. So it's also some physical activity there. And then you, if you have time, start with a hot drink. And if you have the time, you start with reading. And it sounds like you could make this morning routine somewhat between 15 minutes and 2 hours, probably, if you want to.
Exactly, really. And in the beginning, I tried a lot, but I saw also I can stress myself I want to have my morning routine. And this was also not healthy. So I get more flexible about how my days are looking like. And if I can choose, I always do the whole program. And it could be also really 2 hours. Yeah.
Very interesting. Very nice. Thanks for sharing that. Sukkhadas, before we go into a few questions that I want to ask all of my guests, where can people get to know more about yourself? Where can they find you? You mentioned some Instagram, some website. Tell us more.
Yeah, it's like on Instagram, on YouTube. I started now a YouTube channel with tutorials about safety in ice baths, or there will come like guided breathwork sessions and so on. So on my website, sukkhadas.com, and there are also like my email or my telephone number to reach me directly. Yeah. My response time really depends. Sometimes it's really yeah, when I'm on a week on a retreat, I'm mostly what comes from the outside I totally ignore. Absolutely. And afterwards I have to really struggle to okay.
No, absolutely. I feel you. I feel you. I mean, I have the very same, right? I mean, if we go on vacation or if you go on a retreat, you really want to, yeah, exclude your devices and not answer for a week or even longer. And then once you come back, it might go faster, but it doesn't have to. So I guess I got lucky. Thank you for that one.
Yeah.
Super cool. Okay, so a few questions, Sukkhadas, which I had. The first one, it's going to be 3 in total. The first one is, what influenced and motivated you this week?
This week? Today it's Tuesday, yeah? So it should
That's
be
right. The last 7 days. The
7 days. The last 7 days. It's I'm reading the book 40 Secrets of Love, and from Elif Shafak, and it's about the story how Rumi gets a poet of and this is very inspiring. I love Rumi and his poets, and this was it inspired me also to post something about it. Yeah.
Okay, super cool. We will also link this book, and thanks for that. The second question is, who are your mentors and whom do you look up to in life?
It's a little bit like there is now not a special one who I'm look up. It's more my community, from friends. They're inspiring me. It's more a circle, you know, we are all on the same level and support each other, and this is quite inspiring for me. Yeah.
Certainly is. And I believe that a community might even be the better inspiring point in life than only one person, because one person or one glorified idol can change. But if you have a good group of people, I think that's very inspiring.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I would like to ask you to imagine a situation where you are traveling in space for a few years all by yourself.
Yes.
And after traveling for many, many years, you encounter a human-like race. And this human-like race can process 3 truths about humanity, and then will decide if they want to get to know humans or not. What is those 3 truths that you tell them?
It's the connection of love without words, in silence. It's like the empathy for connection, and supporting each other, because as individual, we are not so strong as a community.
Beautiful last words. Thank you so much, Sukkhadas. It was good fun.
Thank you,
And I hope
Yeah.
to invite you again on the Just Another Mindset podcast. And it was a lot of fun.
Please
Thank you so much.
do it. I'm looking forward. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. Yeah.
Thank you, Sukkhadas. Thank you. If you enjoy this podcast and learn from it, share this episode with a friend or two and make sure to subscribe to the Just Another Mindset podcast on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcast. On Apple, you may leave up to a 5-star review. Know that you will help to create more meaningful content if you do. If there is any future topic or guest that you would like to hear more about on the Just Another Mindset podcast, please let me know by leaving a comment on YouTube or sending a direct mail to contact@ishmaelwondergarten.com. And if nobody told you lately, be reminded that you are worthy, you matter, and you can achieve anything.
Do more of what makes you happy. Be yourself positive. Change. Just another mindset.